Welcome and thank you for joining us for the deep dive. This week, we're plunging into the thrilling and really rapidly evolving world of artificial intelligence. It's been quite a whirlwind, hasn't it? Breakthroughs, strategic shifts, big implications, all just in late June, early July 2025. So our mission today, cut through that noise, deliver your essential AI news digest. As AI capabilities explode, are we seeing this era of unprecedented progress? Or maybe the challenges scale, integration, governance, are they starting to define its true frontier?
That's exactly right. Think of this as your shortcut, your way to get properly informed about where AI is heading right now. We're here to synthesize the week's key developments into hopefully clear, actionable insights, trying to balance that technical depth with what it actually means for you. Maybe you're a tech pro, maybe an enthusiast, or maybe just, really curious about this whole field. We've got some surprising facts, some critical context lined up. And we'll definitely explore that tension you mentioned throughout our chat.
Okay, let's dive in then. Let's unpack this. The single biggest theme, I think, dominating the headlines this week is, well, undeniably, the massive accelerating push for just raw computational power. It really feels like a compute arms race, doesn't it? On an almost unbelievable scale, like whoever controls the most compute might just control the future of AI.
That's a really critical observation. We're seeing AI companies essentially becoming data center giants themselves. A prime example, OpenAI. Always at the forefront, right? They're partnering with Oracle for a, quote, massive data center expansion. What's striking here, I think, is the sheer scale of the investment. Securing 4.5 gigawatts GW of power capacity through Oracle, that could roughly double OpenAI's current available compute.
Double, wow.
Yeah. And this isn't just about training bigger models faster, though that's part of it. It also really solidifies Oracle's role as a major AI cloud provider. And it validates OpenAI's strategy, diversifying beyond just Microsoft. This huge investment, maybe around $30 billion per year just on compute. It underscores that cost and availability of raw processing power. That's central now for everyone.
And speaking of just colossal investments, Elon Musk's XAI, they just announced raising a staggering $10 billion. I mean, when you hear numbers like that, okay, it's split $5 billion debt, $5 billion equity, but still, it makes you pause. What does that kind of money actually buy you in the AI world right now?
Well, mostly it buys more compute. That's the short answer. This $10 billion is really earmarked to fund AI infrastructure development, including building what they're claiming will be one of the world's largest AI data centers. XAI wants to scale from, 200,000 GPUs up to potentially 1 million GPUs?
Yeah.
And interestingly, they're also using Oracle Cloud GPUs too. So Oracle's winning big here. It's not just a power race, it's a race for access. It highlights that GPU compute supply really is the lifeblood of modern AI. If you don't have it, you're you're not really in the game at that top level.
That scale is it's mind-boggling. But okay, beyond the numbers, what are the sort of unforeseen consequences here, this compute arms race? Are we setting ourselves up for new monopolies, maybe? Or perhaps a different kind of digital divide where only the compute-rich can truly innovate?
That's a critical point to think about. Both these stories, OpenAI Oracle and XAI, they illustrate this accelerating compute nationalism almost. Companies are strategically locking down GPU farms and power for the long term. And if AI progress really is gated by hardware, as many believe, then access to these massive compute resources becomes the ultimate bottleneck. It could potentially centralize power in the hands of, a few industrial giants, not exactly fostering a decentralized AI innovation landscape.
Right. That seems counterintuitive to the whole promise sometimes.
Exactly. It could have profound implications for startups, even for national competitiveness.
Yeah.
And, with these AI firms basically becoming data center giants, it naturally raises huge questions about energy use, sustainability. It probably signals a bigger green AI push coming soon, or at least it should. The environmental footprint of these places.
Yes.
So we need to watch very closely.
So, okay, we've seen AI's physical side, these huge data centers powering innovation. But the reach of this tech, it goes far beyond that, right? Into how real industries operate, even our daily lives. And this is where it gets really interesting, I think. Take Amazon. They hit this incredible milestone, deploying 1 million mobile robots worldwide. And at the same time, they're unveiling DeepFleet, a new generative AI foundation model to manage it all.
Yeah, this development signifies a really profound fusion, doesn't it? Generative AI with actual physical systems. DeepFleet is designed as an intelligent traffic system, basically, to coordinate all those robots, optimizing routes, reducing congestion. They expect maybe a 10% improvement in fleet travel efficiency.
Just from smarter routing?
Apparently so. It marks significant progress towards genuine swarm intelligence for these warehouse bots, which is a huge leap from just having lots of isolated robots doing their own thing.
It's fascinating how that moves us closer to that swarm intelligence idea. Not just one robot, but like hundreds of thousands coordinating. I imagine the logistics of that alone must be immense, even with AI running it. But what about the people, the workforce implication? Amazon has so many employees. Are we seeing jobs disappear at the same rate these robots are appearing? Is that the trade-off?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Or maybe the million robot question here. Look, Amazon reports that 700,000 employees have undergone training to work with advanced robotics.
Okay, that's a lot of training.
It is. But deploying 1 million robots undeniably, quote, underscores ongoing automation of manual jobs. You can't really argue with that. So it raises that important question. Will other employers follow suit? Will many workers face dislocation? And we see this playing out right now. Look at Microsoft confirmed 9,100 layoffs in July. That's over 15,000 reductions this year alone.
Wow, 15,000.
Yeah, and their CEO, Satya Nadella, has publicly said that AI tools like Copilot are now writing 20–30% of new code. That directly reduces the need for some traditional coding roles, leading to significant, quote, workforce restructuring. It's a pretty stark picture. We often hear arguments that AI will create new jobs, maybe higher skilled ones.
Right, the upskilling argument.
Exactly. But these numbers suggest that the creation side isn't always keeping pace with the displacement side, at least not yet.
Okay, moving from warehouses to well-being, I suppose. The U.S. FDA is making a big leap with its agency-wide AI system, Intact. It's set for full deployment by June 30th. This feels like a pretty crucial moment for how government agencies actually use AI.
It absolutely is a really crucial step in government-led digital transformation. Intact, which includes this large language model they call ELSA, it's designed to speed up drug approvals, enhance food safety, identify risks by analyzing massive data sets. The deputy director of CDER's Office of Drug Evaluation Sciences actually called it a game changer, reducing review times from potentially days down to minutes.
Days to minutes, that's huge.
Massive shift, yeah. And this marks a significant paradigm shift for regulated industries. It basically compels pharmaceutical and food companies to modernize their own compliance and risk management using intelligent automation. They'll have to adapt their internal AI strategies just to keep up with the regulators now.
And beyond the big corporations in government, we're seeing AI agents revolutionizing scientific research itself. Future House launching specialized AI agents. It kind of feels like we're giving AI its own research lab to run.
Exactly. It really highlights the emergence of specialized AI agents as a new paradigm for automation. These agents, they have names like Crow for literature retrieval, Owl for experiment validation, Phoenix for chemistry planning. They aim to automate and accelerate key steps in the scientific discovery process. They even released something called Ether Zero. It's a 24 billion parameter open weights reasoning model specifically for chemistry.
Open weights, so available for others to use.
That's right. It means it's available for anyone to use and build upon, which helps democratize powerful AI tools for scientific research. This could absolutely revolutionize the biotech, pharmaceutical, and materials science industries by dramatically speeding up R&D, potentially shrinking years of work into just months.
Okay, let's shift to the models themselves. The capabilities of foundational and generative AI models just keep evolving at this breathtaking speed, pushing boundaries, especially in multimodal generation and reasoning. Google DeepMind just globally launched VO3, their advanced video generation model, positioned as a direct competitor to OpenAI's Sora, right? So we're seeing a real arms race in creative AI too.
Definitely. And a crucial aspect here is its multimodal capability, its prowess. It's setting new industry standards, they claim, with HD output, precise audiovisual sync, realistic physics simulation. And they have this fast turbo mode, which apparently slashes costs by 80%.
80%, okay.
Yeah, indicating a new phase of rapid, accessible, and high-fidelity multimodal generative AI. So it's not just about fancy videos, it's about making sophisticated content creation much more affordable for a wider range of people. And significantly, all VO3 videos include Google's embedded synthid watermark plus visible watermark.
The responsibility angle.
Exactly, demonstrating a maturing approach to responsible AI development right from the start, focusing on provenance, authenticity.
And then on the language model front, OpenAI's GPT-5, officially slated for release summer 2025, poised to deliver a, quote, generational leap, What are we actually expecting from GPT-5 that's different from what we've seen, and what does this mean for that big goal, AGI?
Yeah, the key question is just how significant this leap will be. What does generational really mean here? Early indications, the whispers, suggest significant advances in understanding, reasoning, memory, and adaptability, moving closer to that vision of AGI, artificial general intelligence.
The ability to do any intellectual task a human can.
Essentially, yes. But critically, the explicit mention of rigorous safety and performance benchmarks as a condition for GPT-5's launch, that signifies a really crucial shift, I think, in the AI development paradigm. It indicates a strong focus on balancing the innovation push with responsible deployment. It's not just about how smart it is, but how safely it can be integrated.
Got it. And on a slightly different track, Google DeepMind also introduced AlphaGenome. This sounds like something straight out of science fiction.
It's certainly pushing boundaries. This is a revolutionary DNA sequence model. Its job is regulatory variant effect prediction. Basically, it represents a major advancement in AI-driven genomic analysis and scientific discovery acceleration. The potential here is to significantly accelerate medical research and personalized medicine development.
Wow. So understanding genetic diseases better, tailoring treatments.
Exactly. To an individual's unique genetic makeup, it's potentially game-changing for healthcare down the line.
Okay, so as these capabilities accelerate, the global effort to govern it is also speeding up.
Yeah.
We're seeing governments, regulatory bodies moving decisively from just talking about it to actual implementation, cross-border collaboration.
Yeah.
It's defining that second part of our question. Are the challenges of governance catching up? The EU Commission, for example, sticking to its guns. Reaffirmed on July 4th that the AI Act will roll out on schedule. They rejected industry calls for delays.
Yeah, the EU is really cementing its role as a regulatory leader here. Obligations for general-purpose AI models kick in this August 2025. Rules for high-risk systems apply by August 2026. This makes the EU Act the world's first comprehensive AI law. And it means companies targeting European markets, well, they must rapidly adapt to rigorous standards.
No choice, really.
Yeah, pretty much. And it could potentially drive compliant by design AI innovation globally, setting a very high bar, and you can bet others are watching closely.
And in a landmark move, at the UK-Singapore Financial Dialogue, the UK's FCA and Singapore's MAS announced an alliance on AI and financial services. This feels like a really proactive way to get ahead of the curve in a specific sector.
It absolutely is. The aim is to set global standards for AI in finance, creating a blueprint for co-governing AI, including things like sharing test beds, sharing data, and focusing heavily on explainability.
Meaning you can understand why the AI made a certain decision?
Exactly, which is crucial in finance. And this marks a shift in paradigm, I think. Regulators are proactively shaping AI use cases, not just reacting after something goes wrong. They're not waiting for problems. They're trying to build guardrails from the get-go.
Then here in the U.S., the regulatory picture, well, it's a bit more fragmented maybe, but incredibly active. The U.S. Senate, in a decisive 99-to-1 vote, rejected a proposed 10-year federal moratorium on state AI regulation. That's a pretty strong signal, isn't it?
It certainly is. It preserves the authority of state governments to enact their own AI governance frameworks, and they are doing it. Over half of U.S. states have already enacted some form of AI or algorithmic accountability laws, with 48 states introducing related bills just this year alone. It demonstrates a fragmented but proactive approach to AI governance at the state level.
So the action is really at the state level for now.
Largely, yes. This federal preemption effort seems to be actually strengthening state resolve to act independently. And it highlights this growing imperative for ethical considerations, transparency, child protection, reducing algorithmic bias, often addressed at a local level before any federal consensus is reached.
Okay, beyond the core tech and regulations, we're seeing some fascinating broader trends, ethical discussions shaping the whole AI ecosystem. For instance, this new study from the LSE's Grantham Institute. It makes a compelling case. AI could actually significantly cut global co-Euro emissions by 2035. This feels like a powerful counter-narrative to those energy concerns we mentioned earlier about the data centers.
It really does. What's fascinating here is the finding that AI applications could potentially reduce global greenhouse emissions by 3.2 to 5.4 billion tons of co-Euro annually by 2035.
Co-Euro, that's carbon dioxide equivalent, right? The standard measure.
Exactly. Standard measure for all greenhouse gases makes comparison easier. And critically, the study projects this reduction could actually offset AI's own energy consumption.
Wow, okay. Net positive.
That's the projection. The study explicitly portrays AI as a net positive for climate action, provided it is effectively applied. That's the key caveat. Applied in areas like power grid management, optimized agriculture, smarter logistics, things like that. It reflects this emerging subfield of AI for climate. And yeah, it's a very hopeful sign if we can actually leverage AI responsibly for environmental good.
Then there's Cloudflare, introducing a groundbreaking pay-per-crawl marketplace, allowing web publishers to charge AI models for scraping their content.
Yeah.
This feels monumental, like a potential shift for content creators and the whole data economy.
It absolutely could fundamentally reshape the data economy behind AI. I mean, think about it. For years, the internet's content has largely been free for AI models to scrape and learn from.
Right, the default assumption.
Exactly. This provides publishers with real leverage now to monetize their content directly. It compels AI companies to actually budget for data licensing, and it sets a technical precedent for automated content licensing using this old HTTP status code 402, payment required.
402, I don't think I've ever seen that.
Almost nobody has. It's existed for decades, but basically never used. So using it now is a truly groundbreaking technical move for monetizing content online, specifically for AI. But it raises a huge question. How will this affect the once free flow of information on the internet? And who ultimately pays? The AI companies. Or does that cost get passed down to users eventually?
Interesting times for data. We're also seeing significant disruption from a Chinese AI startup, DeepSeek. They continue to reshape global AI economics, apparently making waves with incredibly cost-efficient models.
Yeah, their R1 model, which is quite capable, was reportedly trained for under $6 million.
$6 million. Compared to
Hundreds of millions for comparable Western models, often.
Okay, that's a massive difference.
It's huge.
Okay.
If you're a startup, this changes the game. It means building advanced AI might not require hundreds of millions anymore. It helps democratize access to advanced AI capabilities globally, really shakes up the competitive landscape. And its open source approach is forcing industry-wide reconsideration of AI development economics, challenges those traditional barriers to entry.
And finally, let's circle back to where we started almost. The very foundation of this compute arms race, the critical AI chip market. It's facing intense geopolitical and economic pressures, reminding us that even the most advanced tech is deeply tangled up with global politics.
Indeed. The U.S. just announced plans to restrict AI chip exports to Malaysia and Thailand. Why? Over concerns about those chips being rerouted to China, it really echoes Cold War technology export controls, but maybe at an unprecedented scale for this kind of tech.
The tech Cold War.
Some are calling it that. And we're already seeing market impacts. Samsung Electronics, for example, facing a 39% profit decline, partly due to delayed AI chip qualifications with NVIDIA. It really underscores just how vital semiconductor tech is for AI's progress and how deeply it's now intertwined with international relations' national interests. It shows the future of AI isn't just about code and algorithms. It's very much about silicon, supply chains, and geopolitics.
So wrapping this all up, what does all this mean for you listening? The learner, the enthusiast, the professional, the past week's AI news really reveals this landscape of just feverish growth, rapid realignment, from that unprecedented compute arms race to AI integrating into everything, physical warehouses, drug approvals, and with regulators now actively shaping its future, we are undoubtedly at a critical inflection point. It's not just about the breakthroughs anymore, is it? It's about what we do with them and how we manage the implications.
Exactly. The overwhelming trend is definitely one of accelerated growth and realignment, driven by that unprecedented infrastructure investment, the relentless pursuit of more powerful AI models, and this rapid technological advancement. It's concurrently reshaping industries through deep integration automation, core operations changing, leading to significant shifts in labor markets, business strategies. We saw that with Microsoft. But critically, governance, ethical considerations, they are rapidly catching up. Regulators are proactively shaping AI's deployment now. That tension between innovation and accountability alongside all the geopolitical competition, that's really going to define the trajectory of AI in the mid-2020s.
It's definitely a dynamic and exciting time to be informed about AI. Understanding these key developments, these emerging patterns, it's crucial for navigating this rapidly evolving frontier, and maybe even for helping shape its future. If you want to keep tracking these fascinating developments and dive even deeper, ensure you subscribe to the Deep Dive. And hey, for more practical insights, hands-on tutorials, you can visit the Ian Ochieng, that's OCHIENG AI YouTube channel. Stay curious, stay informed, and we'll be back next week to unpack more.